Hey everybody, welcome back to the local port. Today we're on episode 21.
Yep.
The pod is old enough to drink.
Finally.
Today we got Patrick from Throttle Junkies with us.
Yep.
Thanks for having me, man.
We would have had Joe, but
He's busy.
Yeah, he's busy.
Yeah, well,
He's
tomorrow's gonna be busy at Cruising Coweta, so
Yeah.
got to run around and finish up some loose ends, so to speak, and that way it can all go smooth tomorrow.
Oh, I'm gonna come by there in the morning.
It's gonna be fun. I think we got the gates open to let us in and start setting up at like 7 a.m.
Where's it at?
Down
Fairgrounds, right?
Fairgrounds.
Okay, Fairgrounds. Okay.
Yep.
I gotta see if I can get up there early.
So
Don't go that early.
little thanks to
Go
Trip
in.
for allowing us to come in.
I sponsored that a couple of years ago.
Cruising Coweta.
Yeah, I had my trailer set up and everything out there, and it was pretty cool. Had some of the little young bucks out there with their squatted trucks we were messing with. And
Old South Carolina squad.
yeah.
Yeah, you can see everything underneath.
Yep.
Make sure they're 21, like the episode.
I saw what's name brothers today.
Who?
Brianna's.
Oh.
And that squatted truck, I was like, that thing is ugly.
Shout out to Whistling Oaks Woodworks for some new cups we got this week.
Pretty nice cups.
Where's
Let
your
me see
cup?
that thing.
Pretty nice.
It looks like a Yeti.
It's it's called the Party Cup or something.
Wait, it's like frozen in there. This
I
thing's
know.
not gonna melt.
I know. I've been trying to drink my drink and it's a slushy, but not a slushy.
That's pretty
It's
awesome.
like pasta slushy.
What you drinking out of that?
That's my cupcake drink. My Red Stag and Sprite. Boy, it tastes just like a cupcake.
You look like a cupcake.
I do.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be laid out like a cupcake.
I'll
at the
tell you,
feast.
I'll tell you, man. I don't drink, but it's hilarious to me. You're like a high noon bitch, and
Girl.
then now you're over here talking about
Cupcake.
I like it because it tastes like a cupcake. Get the fuck out of here with it.
In Daniel's defense, I brought a 6-pack, and there's 60 Busch Lights in there. Okay. So
We don't run out of beer around here.
Nah.
I mean, there's a whole half a case of Yingling sitting over there.
good problems.
Yeah, there could be.
Yeah, there's liquor everywhere.
Yeah, there's some in the freezer. I just bought a big bottle of Fireball. It's in the freezer if y'all want to get wild.
What are you taking that to Florida?
Nope, it's for the podcast.
Turn 21.
Yeah,
21.
21. I got some spicy jalapeno Casamigos.
That
Yes,
is
sir.
I got some AU vodka peach.
21.
Ooh.
I was just looking on our Snap memories today, Brownlee. And you
Yeah,
ain't never gonna believe what
demon
popped out.
time. Demon time.
Brownlee,
It pops
you
up
are
all the time.
Brownlee. Look, you were at the lake on the sandbar,
Trust
and
me,
you
I
were
know.
passed out.
I trust me. I know.
Look at this. Someone drank way too much. There you are.
Oh God. Oh, that'd be a clip that we can put somewhere.
Right
Oh
there.
God!
I don't know how you can see that, but like he was
laying
down
on the beach.
bad.
He's laying on the
I don't have that one. Send that one to me.
What do you, dude? It's literally on your memory, like in your profile.
Idiot.
Oh, is it? Oh, I'll have to check that out later. I didn't see. Did I send that to you?
No, I took it of you and tagged you. You reposted it, and it tagged in a memory thing.
I'm gonna have to go save that for.
I don't see that on mine.
Just give
But-
Daniel your phone.
Yeah,
Let him see.
I'll do it when we get done with this. But hey, man, demon time. Well, I'm telling you.
Or,
But that's that Casamigos right
oh,
there
look,
for you.
there was another one. You're alive.
Barely.
Oh, that one.
You remember this day
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
We ain't gonna get into details, but you
we ain't
remember
gonna
the
get
day
it.
now.
Yeah. That was a fun, eventful day.
I'm surprised you remember.
Only remember because of you.
That's
Oh.
for like episode.
No
30.
episode.
That's
600.
like episode 50, midlife crisis.
Oof.
Yeah, I am getting up there.
Hey, what you drinking on?
Stone Cold Steve Austin, Broken Skull IPA.
Sounds gross.
Well, no, that's not him. I was about to say something else.
Dude, you did it again.
Huh?
You did it on the boat too when we were
Yeah.
riding back.
Yeah. Demon time. Be like that.
Patrick's got the normal Michelob Ultra.
Well,
Yeah.
He's watching his figure.
Yeah.
Pour
Got
of the
it.
week.
Got to. When you come off of a helicopter into a like sitting behind a desk job and you weigh 120 pounds, 50 pounds comes on you real quick. Used to be the Miller Lite, but now gotta watch the figure.
Yeah, Miller Lite used to be where it was at.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Hold on 1 second. I had to put an employee in a motel this week, and they're trying to get me to let them pay for it. I'm just going to do it out of the kindness of my heart.
that's a good boss
What,
right
put
there.
them up into the,
The motel next to McDonald's in Moreland.
I was going to say put them in the red carpet inn.
That's exactly it. I walked in there
Smells
to pay
like
for
straight
it.
cigarettes.
I walked in there to pay for it. I said, here you go.
Oh, man.
We got the boss's credit card. We staying at the Marriott tonight, right there on Broadway.
I might have to go get it.
Brownlee missed out on that night when we went to Nashville.
Well, we're not going to talk about that. Yeah.
Let's move into,
Are
what are we moving into?
we going to let Patrick tell us about his little, like, basically, like, what your path has been going through these past couple of years?
The path?
Yeah, I mean, that's not what I was trying to say, but
The path? Man,
like what you've been going through these past couple of years. That's what I'm trying to
Or
say.
his
That's what I'm trying to say.
motorcycle wreck?
Yeah.
Oh, the motorcycle
Like how
wreck.
you basically got to where you're at now.
Yeah, man, that was gosh, we've known each other that long?
Yes, we have.
We're getting old.
But you gotta think I'm a lot older than most people.
Yeah, you are. That's
Yeah.
why, that
I'm like-
let's
I'm
see
like-
that forehead,
I'm like
man.
six-
that thing keep
I'm
going
like
back.
6 years. I'm like 6 years older than everybody.
Hey, but
He gets a discount at Golden Corral on Sundays.
I don't even eat there.
Hey, man, I'm there now, too. You remember when I had hair? Now I don't.
Yeah.
So, ain't got nothing to say about that. Well, what you want to know, man? What you want to know?
Hey, just tell us about your motorcycle accident.
Before, after, in between, all the...
Before, after, in between. I mean, I was there for it. I mean,
Let's
and I
start.
didn't, but what makes it so bad is I didn't even know you had a motorcycle accident until I seen you out in public with a neck brace on. I was like, when did this happen?
Or you'll have to bring Tina on one time where she thought that I had a doppelganger at the bar, and then Anthony was like, no, he's laying up in the ICU at Grady Memorial right now. He was in an accident. And she was like, no, I just saw him. Anthony's like, no, I have his location. He is up at Grady Memorial Hospital. Yeah, man, it was not fun. So don't get in a motorcycle wreck. That's definitely not recommended. But before the wreck, so ironically, actually used to work on a helicopter, believe it or not, as a flight paramedic, right here in Coweta County, right down the road, I guess, from where we're at, is right out of the Moreland Airport. Did that for a little bit. Let's see. That career was 2, maybe 3 years. Have to go back and look. Best job in the world. And just like that, it can change, man. Just like that. It was Labor Day weekend, 2023. And it was, y'all know Josh Coutier? I know you know Josh Coutier.
I don't.
You know
I have
Josh,
to- I have
the guy I
to-
used to ride with,
Oh,
Black
yeah,
Harley?
Yeah, I know Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you know Louie?
Yes.
And then Louie, he's a cop and whatnot. We were all down in Meriwether County at Tower House. Y'all ever been there?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, that's a good place to check
Is that
out.
the place that Dylan goes to?
He goes to Crowbar.
Oh, okay.
No, Tower House is like think about it like Lion Creek. Except Lion Creek here in Noonan.
Mhm.
Except there's like a barn and everything else and like multiple areas, and they have a couple of different bars and they have some fire pits and whatnot. It's a really cool
Okay.
place to hang out. But anyway, so we were all rode down there and whatnot, and we were on our way back, leaving there. And as we were on our way back, Josh was living down in Meriwether at the time, and Louie lived up here in Noonan. We come up right to 16 and 29. Is it 29? 27? 29? 29. And Louis hangs a right onto 16. He lived down going that way, and y'all know where I live up north of the city. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to keep on going straight and cut through the city. Well, that wasn't a great idea. So going and cut through the city, and next thing I know is I'm laying on the ground. And don't know what happened. Don't know what's going on. Surprisingly, believe it or not, this one right here is, well, not this exact one, but this thing's actually what called 911, was my watch. I don't know how they figure out all the stuff in it. But when I hit, I flew, estimated something about 30 feet in the air. My bike was a 21 Street Glide Special that flew about 10 feet in the air before it landed. And then I turned, this is what I was told, I landed down on my left side, skid on my back, and skid for about another 30, 40 feet, something like that. I don't remember this. This is what I'm being told. And all I remember is I remember hearing it because I couldn't open my eyes. And I remember hearing, I don't know, do we have to like watch language in here? Like,
Just don't say
Don't say
GD.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I remember just hearing, oh, fuck. And, you know, because you work on a helicopter, you're a firefighter, you get familiar faces, you get to know the other cops.
They knew who you were.
Paramedics and everything else. And, you know, so that's all I heard was, oh, fuck, because I'm sure the dispatcher got just a, like, hey, squad, whatever, go check out this intersection. We're getting an iPhone notification or some crap like that.
Yeah.
Hang up, missed call, 911, whatever. Could you imagine being that cop? Just showing up and like thinking it's some bullshit call, and walking up and just seeing some guy like dead in the middle of the road and his bike's 40 feet away from him, and not like a small like crotch rocket. I'm talking like this is like a
Street Glide.
almost 1,000-pound bike.
I bet you I can tell you what happened. When you went to flying, so bet you your wrist went like that, and it hit the button, and then it called 911.
That ain't what
No, it's the G's. Like it's actually in the phone. Like it is the G's.
When I was on my 300, my wrist kept doing that, and it kept calling.
Well, if you kept doing it, then it was
Yeah.
segment, but no.
And so when they called me, I had to tell them, no, I just keep hitting.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
This literally said like
the shaking.
like crash
The
detected
impact.
and whatnot.
Okay.
The G forces.
We were riding razors one time. My phone called 911, and I was up at Durham Town, and we were riding like really rough shit, and ended up calling 911. Called my wife, all kind of stuff, because my phone was shaking so much that I was.
Why was it calling your wife names?
Huh?
You said it was calling your wife all kinds of stuff.
No,
No, it was called. It was, it was called.
No, my phone knows not to do that. She's a sweet girl.
Oh man.
I was gonna say you better throw that phone in the trash, man.
Now, I mean, you weren't just saying that.
I had a long week at work. I actually worked this week. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, allegedly.
There is a reason where all the women are in the house and we are out here right now. Let's just say that. All right, everybody had a long week. They need their time. We need our time. Anyways, so yeah, that's that. I remember hearing that, and I went back out into unconscious, comatose land or whatever. And I remember laying on my left side and seeing the ambulance come down Bullsboro. I don't remember seeing it come down Bullsboro, but it comes down Bullsboro like you're going into the square. And so it's coming down and then it stops. And when the ambulance stops, whenever they put it into park and whatnot and they open up the door, the big scene lights pop up on the side. You know what I'm talking about? On the side, there's these big white lights that light up the scene. And so I remember like awakening to hearing the door like open, slam shut, and the scene lights coming on. And then I'm like, all right, someone's here. Like, I'm going to get help. Because I still couldn't process, like, I was even hurt yet. Like, I didn't know. And so the next thing, man, this was excruciating pain. Didn't know the injuries yet. I don't remember them. We always had a habit whenever we rolled somebody over and whatnot, you would always talk to them and tell them what was going on. Like, hey, we're sorry, we're going to roll you over, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember any of that. I just remember being rolled and landing on my back, facing straight up and screaming in pain. And it like woke me back to a conscious. And then being picked up and put on the stretcher and slid into the ambulance. I recognized voices. I didn't recognize faces. I couldn't really process what was going on. But I do know I ended up seeing him a while back. I'm getting ahead of it, but I ended up seeing him at his station about a year and a half later. Was Andrew Benefield with Coweta County Fire Rescue. He when he was the medic that night, and I knew him, so I could only imagine what it's like to know somebody and then have to care for them.
Mm-hmm.
So he just kept saying, I remember him saying, going like, you're going to go in the helicopter. The one that I worked on at the time, like as a flight paramedic. And this was secondhand later that I found out. So they popped me in, I'm talking all this crazy nonsense, definitely brain injury, all that stuff. And they drove me to the Kroger parking lot there on Bullsboro. Got to Bullsboro, knew he was going in the helicopter. This is what I was told secondhand. One of the firefighters, the city of Newton, they knew who I was and whatnot. And my partner was on overtime. Like my partner, we worked 24-hour shifts. My partner was filling in on overtime that night when she got the call. And so one of the Newton firefighters had to stop her at the back of the ambulance and be like, hey, you need to take a breath before you go in. It's one of you. It's one of y'all's is what was said. And she was like confused, like what? Like because they had just gone to another motorcycle wreck in Thomaston that same night, which he didn't survive. And so they had literally just got back to the base, landed, and then got this call and picked it up. And so that's when the firefighter, let's just say he's a big guy. He's probably about 6'2" and 280 pounds. And my partner at the time, I just don't know if I can mention her names, like for her permission, was very tiny. And she said he told her it was me. And you can imagine Brownlee flinging Daniel across the room.
Yeah.
That'd be a
She
sight
that
to
strong?
see. Well, you got to think, man. It's like you're like family. You're like family. You eat together, you sweat together, you see all these crazy experiences together. You go through some crazy calls together and do these crazy things together. And so then you find out that somebody who you literally live with a fourth of your year is now in the back of the ambulance when you just came off of a guy who was dying in the last call from a motorcycle accident, and this one happens to be a guy you live with a quarter of the year, and go through all these crazy experiences with. So yeah, she like done flinged him. That was secondhand. That's what I heard, and that's what I was told. She hopped up in the ambulance, and I don't remember. I just remember hearing her voice and her coming over me. And when she came over me, I remember like getting back to somewhat of a state where I could have a conversation and saying, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just know that I'm fucked up and I just need to be taken care of. Don't know what's going on. I don't know what happened. Last thing I remember is I was in Meriwether County and just help. She said, all right. And I just said, do your job. I said, just do your job.
Yeah.
I think I even remember saying to the medic at one point in time, like, do your job. If you got to drill me, we have an IO. I don't know if y'all know what that is.
No.
So if you can't get an IV on somebody, it's a drill that goes directly into the bone.
No.
It's for these like very bad experiences. You don't have time to sit around and try to find an IV. They're crashing and you drill into the bone.
Just put me down.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting to.
Bro.
And so it's not fun. Let's just say that. I've done it plenty of times. I can't tell you how many times. But I said, just do your job. Like, I know I messed up. I'm not going to remember it. Just do your job. And so, luckily, they didn't have to. As far as I mean, actually, I never looked for scars. As far as I know, I never had to get drilled. So they put me in a helicopter and whatnot, and I don't remember any of that. They gave me some stuff and put me in La La Land and sleep and everything else. And the next thing I remember is getting loaded into the helicopter because, again, it was a familiar sound of hearing the blades turn and everything like that, seeing the green lights inside the cockpit, looking up at the sky. And after that, y'all know the two towers when you're coming up onto the split going into Atlanta. You got the smokestack and the cell phone tower right next to each other next to Grady Memorial. So we would that would be our flight path whenever we would go and bring a patient to land on Grady Memorial, is we would go to the right of those towers, and you always call out things that you see. So we called it, it's the Corey Tower. So we would say it's Corey and his brother. So that way we always went around the tower. We would go around the tower, and you pull I don't want to quote how many G's. I just know it was like a little G-force you would feel turning left coming into Grady Memorial. And I remember feeling that turn, and that was the last thing I remembered until waking up.
That's wild.
Like, I don't know, becoming coherent and cognitive again probably 2-3 days later. Lots of injuries.
That's the reason my wife won't let me buy a Harley. I want one so bad, and she's like, "No, you got a Razor." I'm like, "I can get hurt on a Razor."
I can't tell you how many people I picked up from Mount Cheeha over on. Is it Cheeha? No, not Cheeha.
India.
Over there, India. But
India Mountain.
India Mountain, over there in the Silicaga.
And you have to take him to Birmingham.
Yeah, go straight to Birmingham.
Yep.
So you ain't even coming home.
Yeah,
Like, I mean, you ain't even coming home.
I know about that too.
You do? Oh, I was like, you've been like,
no, that's another story. That's another story.
He's been on a ride there and witnessed somebody get life flighted in India.
Wait, what year was this?
Last year.
Was it last year?
Because
Was it last year?
yes, it was.
Okay, because
it was last year. Yeah, it was last year.
So the reason I ask is when I started my career flying,
That was the first.
that was the first helicopter.
Dude,
I was
man.
at Silicaga, Alabama, right outside the Chicago. So I was like, wait, when was this?
I'm telling, like, people go out there, man, and they do like dumb, stupid stuff.
Which, you know,
like, I know I'm getting off the subject, but the last time I was out there, someone had to get life flighted. Like,
I believe it.
This is what the guy did. So he goes up the hill, has on his harness, has on his helmet. He was in a tube chassis. Man, got cocky.
he made it the first
Yeah,
time.
made it the first time. Second time, he kept. I can't remember if he kept on his helmet. I don't think he did. He was not wearing his harness. Man, he goes up. Man, he stood that thing straight up. Next thing you know, roll back. They said that.
He got ejected, didn't he?
Nuh-uh, he about did. They said
He
that.
probably would have been better off if he did get ejected.
They said that his whole body was over in the passenger seat. His legs were hanging out the driver window.
Mm-hmm.
So he was basically getting, like, if it was any higher, he probably would have flew out.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to get life flighted. And he got banned for life.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna
Yeah.
be stupid, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sound
and
ugly.
and
but
after that, they said, if you get caught without a helmet and a harness where you're supposed to have it, you're banned for life.
That's like Coliseum.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hills at the Coliseum at India Mountain that you wouldn't think you needed a helmet on. But be safe. Hell, I'll tell you right now, my Razor is a main trail Razor. I sit there and drink beer and listen to music. That's why I put so much money into my radio, so I can sit there and watch.
Well, so I can tell you just from the accident, my motorcycle accident, what my helmet did. And y'all seen my helmet, but just so everybody else knows, is it's just a half shell helmet.
Yeah.
It's a DOT certified half shell helmet.
Mm-hmm.
There was a scratch that entire accident. I haven't even gotten my injuries yet, but there was a scratch on my nose. That was it. A scratch on my nose. So even like half shell helmets, they do wonders, man.
That's what they are. That's what you're allowed to wear.
Yeah, because as long as a DOT, I'm assuming. But like, just you wouldn't think like a half shell helmet that's literally like a hat.
you, yeah.
But like, dude, I skidded like 30, 40 feet on the ground, on the asphalt pavement, and all I didn't have anything back here, didn't have anything on my cheek. I had just, because I got a big ass nose, I got a little scratch on my nose, and that was it. And to tell you my injuries, so you get a better idea of like how surprising that is. So I broke a total of 26 bones. So of the 26 bones, 13 were vertebrae. And of those 13 vertebrae, they were all in my upper thoracic or my neck. I was temporarily, I don't want to say like paralyzed, but lost sensation and motor function. That's why like they rushed me to like an MRI. That's like that's the only way you can see if there's like cord damage. Because at C6 or C7 or something, T1, one of those had like, you know how the cord runs through, I guess I shouldn't do that, but you know how the cord runs through the vertebrae bodies?
Yeah.
The actual body itself was fractured. And so all that swelling then puts pressure everywhere on your cord and whatnot and can kind of mess with some things when it comes down your body and all this craziness.
And he was hurting. Trust me, I know.
Dude, I was hurting.
Every time I would see him, I would just go up to him and just grab him. He was like, oh!
And it was just out of habit, too.
Yeah.
I was like, you mother...
Because I would forget.
And I couldn't even swing on him. Like, I couldn't even
I would forget, and I'm like, oh, man, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I ain't gonna tell you.
Dude, he
I
was in
would've
pain,
I
man.
probably would have toted something in my pocket.
Dude, I'm telling
Not your ass.
you, he was in pain. Because it it was a habit. We used to do
We
it.
used to do it all the time. Be like, Bradley, what's
Yeah.
up, buddy? Like,
and I finally just stopped. I haven't done it since.
well, it was because then everybody else started yelling at him too.
Yeah.
It wasn't just me.
Everybody
he's
else
hurt.
Like, dude. So it was the 13 vertebrae. I had a bunch of ribs on both sides that were broken. I had shoulder, clavicle, humerus, elbow, upper femur, small little thing in my pelvis, internal injuries. There was some bruising, intestinal bruising, some liver bruising. And then because I couldn't move around so much in the hospital, I started accumulating issues with like my lungs and not being able to breathe because of all the fractures. I couldn't take deep breaths and whatnot. And so it's not atelectasis, but something along those lines.
That's too big of a word for me.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm over here like, oh yeah.
Just like all this crap in the bottom of your lungs.
Eddie probably knows.
I'm not very smart.
And there was something. Oh, and then there was something else that happened one night. I don't remember because my hemoglobin was starting to go down, so I don't really
know
remember.
when the words all
So I was losing. So the blood inside your body, they test. It's called like an H&H, and so they did this test, and I was like, I knew what the terms were, and so I was like, that doesn't really seem right. And then so after I'm like saying that, I went to sleep and woke up the next morning, and I don't really remember much that happened. Like it was just a daze. Luckily, I had friends that are nurses and whatnot. Actually.
Break it down for you.
Well, so one of the nurses I worked with at the hospital, her husband is a nurse practitioner that works at Grady, and so would come and check on me and kind of just like peek in to be like, "Hey man, everything going all right?" And like if everything was like if I was like messed up, he was gonna be like, "Oh no, we're just gonna like ID,
Hook you up.
let's get this all going straight for you and whatnot." But I didn't even touch on the burns on my back. The burns, I had 3rd-degree burns, probably about on like half of my back. I don't know the percentage. To the point where, I guess you could say a little shout out to my ex-wife because my ex-wife would actually come over, and after I got discharged from the hospital weeks later, she would actually come over the house into my house, and she would change my dressings on my back. And she came up to the hospital like the next day after it happened. I don't really remember a lot of it, but she would change out the dressings and like help me bathe and just like all those little things you don't think of. So, I mean, I guess after that, then we were kind of cool now. But
Had to get hurt for that to happen.
like. I was like,
I'll never get there. Well, I ain't never been married, so
And then I looked there and been like, this was all your fault because it's never got divorced, would never got the bike, would never ended up in the wreck.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
I'm just kidding.
Break it down to her.
Yeah. So that was that, man, and that was a 10 out of 10. Don't recommend.
Was that like a $80,000 bill?
No, way more than that.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I
It
shot
was.
low.
That was closer to like $750,000 bill.
Oh, because that helicopter was the
Yeah.
biggest.
yeah.
Between the helicopter, the stay at Grady Memorial, the trauma docs, everything like that, then staying in the ICU, the MRIs, the CAT scans, the repeated X-rays, all that stuff.
Remember I said, put me down.
Mm-hmm.
Pull the plug.
Well, that's just not legal.
I don't understand why. Don't get me started.
No, let's not get into the politics side of it.
I don't understand how I can't say, you know what, I'm done. I'm done.
It's not your decision.
Yes, it is.
I mean,
My body,
It
my
is.
choice.
It is. It
Right?
is. But
Here we go.
My body,
Here we
my
go.
choice.
It is. It is, but it isn't.
The podcast
Man,
turned 21 and he
look.
thinks he can just run off and do whatever he wants to do.
How do you think your kids would feel if you just said, "Put me down," and then
I'm not
What's
saying-
he gonna know? He'll be dead.
No, but he would say, "Put me down." Man, Georgia would be so
She would be
upset.
devastated. I know. I'm just saying, how come I can walk into a vet and say, you know what, kill my dog now. He's hurting. How can I walk in there and go, hey, I'm hurting?
It's different. Well, technically,
You just can't do it in this country. There are other countries that can.
Well, I'm not going to do it. I just don't understand the reasoning behind it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you could argue the same thing when it comes to one of the big things. I try to keep up with the stuff that goes on in that field is the do not resuscitate. and the do not resuscitate if you have it tattooed on your chest. Right? Because I can't tell you how many times that I've gone to a house as a paramedic on an ambulance, and then the family's like, they got a DNR, do not resuscitate, and I say, all right, show me the form, and they can't find the form.
No.
Well, the law says that I have to provide care if they don't have
If they don't have it. What?
if they don't show me the form.
I never heard.
So
of
now
that.
I'm having to
Don't do that the other day.
now I'm forced to take old granny who's 90 pounds, throw her on my stretcher, and if you never witness a cardiac arrest, it is something to see, and it is not enjoyable. And so now I'm having to break all granny's ribs and sternums and put her on a machine and intubate her and give her drugs and pump her through epi and all these other things because granny didn't have the DNR hanging above her bed. And now the family, not only did they just lose their granny, but now they also have to deal with the hospital bill and everything else that's coming along because the state says, oh no, you can't find the DNR. Take them to the hospital.
So what if they end up finding it?
Then it's fine. If they find the the form. But
Okay.
you know how often they found the form?
Not often, I'm guessing.
Like probably I could probably count on my hands and toes how many times that somebody has presented me with a DNR form, a valid in-date DNR
Maybe
form.
it's something you keep in your wallet.
No, I've always said, so this sounds really bad, but I would go on the calls and whatnot. And so if they were older, I would just ask them out of curiosity, like, do you have a DNR? And a lot of them would say yes. I'd be like, well, it wasn't above your bed. I'd be like, hang that son of a gun above the bed. So that way, if I show up at 2
or
o'clock in
hang
the
it
morning,
somewhere in sight.
No, but if you're in your truck in a car accident,
that's a hit or miss. But most of the time, for like an older age person, they're going to
normally
die
they're
in their
at home.
night or whatever.
so what happens if you save them and then you find the form, you get to put them down then?
Nope. Now you got to let the family make the choice because they got a heartbeat back.
Maybe I shouldn't.
Wait, what?
If you go on a call,
I shouldn't joke.
No, I'm
about
talking
that.
about,
That's pretty
I'm
damn-
talking about what he just said and then what you just said.
right? So if we did a resuscitation, ran a cardiac arrest, and we got a heartbeat back on Granny, and they go to the hospital, and Granny's got a heartbeat, even though there's a machine breathing for her and her brain's dead and
Can't
everything
pull the
else,
plug.
family's got to make the decision.
Even though she may survive.
That's up to the family now.
Pull the plug.
You see why I didn't like working in a hospital, man? Because they were my problem for 20 minutes, and that's it.
Oh,
And then on the
man.
helicopter, they were my problem for like an hour. That was all.
That's kind of sad.
It is, man. I mean, you'd be surprised at the things and the
Like you save
healthcare
somebody and then the family sit there and say, "Oh, just pull the plug." Man, how do you know they weren't gonna survive?
I want this on recording because my wife don't believe me. But if I'm eating out of a freaking tube,
Oh my god! Oh my
and it's going to cost my wife millions of dollars to keep me alive for an extra week, cut it. I'm
Yeah.
done.
I mean, there's
Done. That's it. I told her that. She don't believe me, but
only so much you can do, man.
I don't even want her to have to take care of me in a wheelchair because I'm gonna run her over with that wheelchair.
That's what I thought was going to happen until I, started feeling all toes and everything again. That was pretty scary.
You got something to add, Eddie, to it?
As far as like how it goes with like being in there and the family having to make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
When I was real, I say young at this point because I'm 43 now. But like when I was,
Oh, fart!
Damn, dude, I thought you were like 50.
hey,
God.
I appreciate that. When I was, I
I'm
mean,
messing with you.
I want to say I was like probably in my early 20s, right? Like 20, 21, right? And my grandmother on my mom's side died. And they resuscitated her like 3 times. And she kept dying. And part of the family was like, keep trying. And I'm like, at what point are we going to just let it go? And then I was deemed like the bad guy because I'm like, just let her die. But at the same point, 20.
Oh, okay.
But at the same point, it's like you
Yeah,
brought her back 3 times, and she
See, at
died
that point,
3
yeah,
times.
At that point, it's
just
like,
at some point you have to let it go.
and she was like,
I mean, old. I mean, and then like she was a smoker, right? She had lost her eye to diabetes. I mean, she had like, it was a ton of stuff. You know what I mean? Like she wasn't like a picture perfect of health.
pull the plug.
And that's the ethics that you got to get into and
Yeah.
go, what is going to be the quality of life after? Even
Right.
if we resuscitate,
Right.
even if we get a pulse back,
Yeah.
the body just ain't caught up yet. That's it.
And
Like,
then,
what quality of life.
There was that one kid that tree fell on him. You know what I'm talking about? And his mom, like his parents kept him alive, but he was completely brain dead.
I keep him alive for a while.
They kept him alive for a while. Like they put pictures of him like on Facebook. He'd be in the pool and he's like brain dead. And it's just like his head's on. I'm like, why? Like y'all had the choice.
Different.
I understand as a parent. Now as a parent, it's a hard choice, right?
Yeah.
But like I have to think about if this kid were to make it, right? Who's completely brain dead. I have to take care of this kid. What happens to him if something happens to me?
Yeah.
Right now, who's taking care? So I mean, it's a hard decision as a parent to make, but you're right. I mean, it's something that you have to think about. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I don't know if that's a decision that I could have made. I mean, even if it were my girls, like if I know that their quality of life is going to be just horrible going out, like they're not going to have a life. They're basically, it's just their body here. They can't talk. It's just a glass look in their eye. I mean, what's going to be?
Wouldn't even be open.
Like, what's the quality of their life going to be? You know,
tough,
so
miserable.
It's tough.
You know, I mean, I'm not trying to be like selfish and be like, oh, I don't want to take care of them because I do want to take care of them.
It depends on the situation. Like, what am I trying to say?
It is every situation.
Yeah,
right.
Every single situation.
It depends on the age, like what happened, like what the medical issues are, if you pull the plug or not.
And I mean, it's easy to sit here and say, "Oh yeah, you know, I'll pull the plug."
Yeah,
but
until you're in that situation,
you gotta be in that spot to do it.
It's tough, man. It's tough. All you got to do is go see a pediatric unit. That'll make you think everything. Now that'll make you double guess everything, double think everything.
I can tell you right now, my son broke his elbow down at West Point. Don't get me started on this story. Anyways,
what, 2 years in a row, right? Same day?
No, he didn't break it. He broke his elbow. He skipped school the last day of school. So we go to the lake and go camping. We got there. I got on the golf cart and went to my buddy's camper, was drinking beer, and Bree's over there unloading everything, being, a great mom. And my son's riding his bicycle around the circle. Well, I guess he might have been too tall for his bike. I didn't know. He didn't tell me. I don't watch him ride his bike every day. And he was pedaling, his foot hit the ground, and it kicked him over, and he stuck his arm out straight, snapped his elbow in half. Well, he's laying there, and the little girl that was hanging out with him, with Bree, was like, "Mr. Daniel, I think Kason needs you." I'm like, "Oh, let me finish this beer. I'll be there in a minute." I drink my beer, get on my golf cart. They hand me another one. I get on the golf cart, and I'm riding over there because I wasn't going to walk from here to your car. And he's laying there. Bree's over there holding his back up. He's laying there like this. And I looked down, and he wasn't crying. Like, he was in shock from pain. And I looked down, and I go, "Oh, shit, that's broke."
And then he started crying.
He let loose. He started crying. I said, "Put him in the car." I hadn't unhooked my truck from the boat yet. Like, we were just getting there. Left my truck in the boat in the road, threw my keys to somebody, took him down to LaGrange, got there, and the amount of pain I saw my kid in when they set his arm back, never again. You watch that, and you're like, no, can't see it with a kid. So they're like, "We got to go to Columbus for emergency surgery." Okay, well, can we drive him? Yeah, he's fine. Get out to the lobby.
What emergency?
We get to the lobby, and Bree and Destiny go to the bathroom. They're like, "We'll be right back." I'm sitting there hanging out, holding them, And he goes, "I don't feel good." Falls out.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, shit." Like, I'm holding them in the emergency room like this. I'm screaming for a nurse. They carry him back to the room. He just freaked out, passed out, whatever. And they're like, "All right, well, he's going by ambulance now." And I'm like, "Why?" "Well, because he passed out." And I was like, "I mean, he can sleep in my truck if he needs to, So, anyways, Bree rode in the ambulance with him. Me and Destiny drove separate down to Columbus. We beat the ambulance there because apparently they can't go over 70 miles an hour on the interstate, which is wild.
That
We
may be
get
their
there.
ambulances. I
They
can tell
said-
you.
Yeah, I'm about to say, they be hauling ass, bro.
We get to Columbus and emergency surgery. You thinking it was like 11 o'clock at night at that point. You're thinking emergency surgery. You get there, they're going to start. We get there and they go in the room, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to find my kid because they took him in the back way. And they're like, "Yeah, his arm's broke." And I'm like, "Yeah, no shit. Like, what are we going to do?" And they're like, "Well, I guess we're going to do surgery tomorrow about 4 p.m. I had no clothes, no phone charger, no nothing with me. And I look over at the doctor and I said, "You got to be kidding me." He's like, "No, tomorrow at 4. And I was like, "All right, whatever. Let's go up to a room." We get to a room and Destiny's like, his mom's like, "Well, you and her go home. I'll stay with them. Bring me some clothes and toothbrush." I said, "Okay, whatever." I'm driving home at 4 a.m. in the morning from Columbus. You know how boring that drive
It's
is?
boring.
Coming straight up, dead end 185.
I'm like,
it is
falling
so
asleep and shit.
boring.
Falling asleep. I get home, take a shower. I'm in bed at 5:30. It was like 6:45, 7. My phone's ringing. Hey, we're gonna start his surgery soon.
Hold on.
I said, well, I just woke up from an hour nap. So Bree's like, I'm gonna take you to get your truck and you go down there. I was like, well, make sure y'all wait for me to get there because I want to be there. Oh, we're starting. So I hear my kid in the background. I don't want my dad here. So they waited. I went to West Point, got my truck, and ran 90 all the way to Columbus. Get in there. They're like, all right, you can say bye to him. We're taking him back. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I sat there, and like an hour later, he was back out. Was my wife's stepsister's graduation from Heard County that night. He goes, I'm not missing graduation. This was at like 2. They're like, we're not going to release you till tomorrow. And he talked him into leaving that day.
Your son did?
Yeah. Don't know.
Dude, he's 9. Like, he can't make that decision.
I don't think he was 9 then.
They were like, yeah, I mean, he's okay to go. You just need to check up in a week. So I was like, all right. So we haul ass home. Then we had to go get his medicine. Then we had to haul ass to Herd. And then 3 days later, we were going to the beach for a week. And he had a cast. He couldn't get in the ocean. He got in the pool, but he's like this stuff.
So now he needs shoulder surgery from having to damn raise his arm.
You got to tell him about the shots. The shots.
I don't want to call him out all day. So,
Does
anyways,
he watch these?
Yeah, he sits
normally he's down here.
Well, he's not here this weekend. But he sits down in his room on his iPad and he watches our podcast. And if he's not watching it, he'll ask his mom to turn it on in the car and listen to it wherever they go. So,
Oh, she must love
Hell
that.
yeah.
oh, yeah, she loves it. Like our relationship is like.
That's how me and my ex-wife are now.
Well, she's not an ex-wife. That's the.
Well, we all make mistakes.
So yesterday we had to go
I was talking
to
about
the
me.
doctor for a checkup for my son, and the doctor's like, "Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do your shots for middle school." He started crying immediately. He's 11, poor kid. I'm like, "Dude, come on, it's not that bad." He's like, "Yeah, it hurts." And da da da. Lady
That's when you
comes
should have looked like with the doctor in the room and be like, you know your daddy beats you way harder than
Yeah.
the shot's going to be it.
So the lady comes in there and gives him a Twix and is like, "Just hold on," and stuck him in the leg. And he's like,
egg at 11?
"Yeah." She's like, "You can get it in your leg."
because he didn't want it in his arm.
I said, "Put it in his butt cheek real quick." You know, I'm messing with him.
Yeah, drop trousers.
She sticks him. He goes, "Ouch!" Like you cried for 30 minutes to say "ouch."
I don't
So-
know. The video you showed me look like hey,
Man, it's all in the mind. I can't.
it
tell you
really
how many,
it really is. It
I
really
can't
is.
tell you how many there. And I got this from a doctor, like on a YouTube video, TikTok, Instagram when I was practicing medicine. I can't tell you how many times I would distract them and poke them at the same time,
That-
and
it
they wouldn't
works.
have an eye.
It works.
They wouldn't have a clue. And so what I would do is like, if you were my patient, I would start like pretending to like, oh, blah blah blah, like with my patient. And so they keep getting used to it, and I'd like poke them with my pen or something like that.
Finally stick him.
And then finally, I'd like drop my pen, grab a needle, and be like, bloop. All right, that's done. And they wouldn't even know. They'd be like, why is the pen in my arm?
Headphone.
They'd be so
music,
confused.
Turn away. Oh, I don't even feel.
I
it.
turn away, but I
Yeah.
have bigger problem with like an IV coming out.
Meanwhile, I do it to myself. Like, you know, we go to the bar one night.
Okay.
We go to the bar one night and be like, hey, I'm
IV.
struggling the next morning. You know what I'm saying?
All right, let's wrap up the medical, I guess.
Yeah, you started that whole
Yeah,
political stuff over there.
Really?
Yeah, because we're doing this as 2 episodes.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, your part. I do all the other parts.
We can edit all this out. So
Sauce
we ain't even
ball, okay.
We can do my part.
I was
okay?
going to say, we
Okay,
can
yeah.
edit all this part out.
So, no, this is the part we're talking about right now. So, we finally made the TikTok
Yeah.
We did.
at the local pour on TikTok.
Go follow it.
Y'all got a TikTok now?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it now.
We have
It's on the
everything.
banner.
We have everything.
Oh,
now.
so it's official because
Yeah,
it's on the
it's
banner.
It's
No, it
official.
was,
on
it
the
was
banner,
already,
so
it was
it's
already
official.
on the banner.
It was already on the banner.
But we didn't have
but
it.
I officially made it.
Yeah.
Right.
We had one, but it was based off of my TikTok.
No,
so
this
it-
is like it's its own
That's what I'm saying.
branded.
No, we did have one before.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's its own branded at the local pour on TikTok.
And we just.
oh.
Right now we got about like 13, 14 videos already up.
Yeah.
Man, I forgot y'all came out that. Y'all.
Yeah. So
Y'all saw some stuff at the watering hole.
So-
And then, well, none of it's. I mean, it's just no. It's all clips from the show.
yeah.
oh,
like-
oh, really?
But we are gonna be.
We're gonna
putting-
start adding
yeah.
some other stuff, and then also we We have an official Gmail now.
We do have
Yeah.
a Gmail.
localpoorpod@gmail.com. So, if anybody has any suggestions for us or wants to reach out to us, really had no way of knowing before.
Screw the cast, just local poor.
Localpoorpod.
Pod.
Yeah, pod.
Well,
like,
it
screw the
wasn't-
Cast.
Well, no, I tried to just get at the local poor, but it wasn't available.
Really?
And so, so I tried to make it something simple,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
localpoorpod@gmail.
I was trying to make a joke about
Email.
cast, but
Email.
Oh, because of the
it
gas.
went right over the head. Like I was
I
trying to make
I got it.
I
I
didn't
got
get
it.
it.
trying to make a dad joke in
I
there,
didn't
but
get it. It
you
went over my head.
lame, edit it out.
But that's what I got. So,
Yeah.
We're getting there.
some big news there. Yep.
Well.
You guys got anything?
Nah, I ain't got no.
We can do cheers and jeers, but
We gonna touch on.
We could
We
do
can touch
cheers
on
and
that next
cheers.
week.
We can do cheers and jeers for next time.
Yeah.
All right.
We gonna touch on Throttle Junkies at all?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's going to be on episode 22.
22.
Yep.
I like that. That actually works out real well.
yeah.
Mission
It's
20.
a
Like,
2-part.
but what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
you can edit this part
Yeah.
out. But
Yeah.
what I'm saying is like the 22 a day to go into episode 22. 22 suicide, 22 veterans a day.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Episode
Okay.
22.
Okay. So we could say. So actually, we could say episode 22, and we got Patrick here, and then Patrick can be like,
Jump in.
yeah, and then be like, yeah.
Where you could say, hey, we're here with episode 22. We have Patrick from Throttle Junkies.
Yeah, Throttle Junkies.
And then he can go into it.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Then
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and stop this,
Yeah.
stop all this, and then that way we can be fresh.
Well,
If
right
anybody
now.
needs to take a break,
Yeah.
do we need to add your boy in over here? Is
Want
he-
to get on, Tanner?
Yeah, you can sit. You can sit
sit.
right
I didn't-
there.